Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. It is Thursday, November 12th. I'm here with Kev Berry, the writer and performer of Harsh Cacophonies I and II, a new theater piece that is being live streamed from the off-Broadway theater The Tank from their empty theater. It's the first production that's going to be live streamed from the venue since the theater is shut down. And it's a really cool project, and I'll let Kev describe it. So what is Harsh Cacophonies I and II?
Hi, everyone. So Harsh Cacophonies I and II is a monologue that I wrote over the course of 2 years. It was originally 2 monologues, one called A Faggot's Theology that I wrote in 2019 and performed 2018 and performed at the Tank as a part of their Pride Fest, and A Sissy's Physiology, which I wrote in 2019 and performed again as a part of their Pride Fest. And I knew that I wanted to cobble the 2 together somehow to make a full-length evening. And so over the course of about a year, my director, Alex Toby, and I worked on this transition piece, this like 1-page transition speech to make the whole thing work. And we finally came to a transition that we said, this works for us. And to make an order of the monologues, we went back and forth. Do we do the first one first or the second one first? And we eventually came to a place where we were happy with the order. We were happy with what happens in between the 2 pieces. And we said, okay, now it's time to get to work. And the play is about struggling to attain perfection. It's about whether it's physical perfection in the mirror, your body, the way you look in the mirror, the way other people look at your body, the way that people look at your physical form, the way you talk about your physical self, or perfection in the eyes of your community, in the eyes of God, or in the eyes of the universe, and these much bigger existential questions. So we go through a lot in an hour and 45 minutes. And it's about the intersection of queerness, and particularly in my queerness and my life story with all of those things.
I was going to ask you, are they autobiographical, semi-autobiographical? Like, what inspired them, basically?
Yeah, it's very autobiographical. In 2018, I was trying to figure out what I was going to write for Pride Fest at the Tank. I've been with the Tank since 2015. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to write for Pride Fest. The previous 2 years, they had done this crazy 1950s set drag adaptation of A Doll's House. And then the year after that, I did I did a piece based on a murder that happened in the 60s in Texas, and it was a lot of solo work. The Texas play I didn't perform, but the drag Doll's House I did. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to write. And I had this idea for a title in my head called A Faggot's Theology. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to stop trying to I'm going to stop trying to make these crazy experimental theater pieces, and I'm just going to strip it down to just me talking about myself with a microphone and a light bulb. And that's what we did. And so I started writing, and it ended up being a piece about what it means to believe in God or not believe in God as a gay man, and all the complicated questions that come up with that, along with about being raised Catholic, about if there's a God, what is that? If there's not a God, what does that say about your morality? If there's not a God, what happens to us after we go? And it's all about trying to find peace and knowing that you'll never reach that spiritual perfection, but it's about not finding peace in that spiritual perfection, but coming to terms with that.
How did the idea of performing it live in the theater? Because I know I'd read that you'd been doing like monologues on Facebook or whatever, or streaming on the internet during the pandemic. How did you hatch on the idea of let's do this in the full building?
Yeah. So when the pandemic hit, everything shifted online. Everything that the Tank does shifted online. So I did a stream of Faggot's Theology earlier on in March, like only a couple days after the pandemic hit. I said, okay, I'm just going to give the people some entertainment and talk about God for an hour. And so I did the show in my living room with a couple of clip lights and power strips jerry rigged all over the place. And then I did the 3rd part of this Harsh Cacophony cycle as a part of Pride Fest in July. I do a monthly show with the Tank called Fast and Furious that has shifted completely online. Rule of 7 by 7, another Tank show I do a lot, shifted completely online. So I was getting used to it, getting used to making theater from my bedroom here and from my living room. And it sucks. It really, really sucks having to pause for laughs for no one in my room, having to. Right. And if I don't pause for laugh and I just barrel through, then people are caught up, they miss the joke because they're trying to keep up with how fast I'm talking, because I don't know if you can tell, I'm frantic. And so I saw what the folks in London were doing, at a couple of other theaters around the country were doing, and I said, you know, why isn't anyone in New York doing this? And I know that there are a lot of really complicated reasons about why no one in New York is doing it. I said, but I can do this. I have the tank as a resource. I have the capacity to make this happen with a team. We have COVID precautions that we can follow. So and I have a play that works for this form. And I think that would look really nice in a really nicely filmed recording. So we said, okay, let's go for it. And so we just really jumped in and went into hyperdrive, and here we are a couple weeks later.
Was it have you been in the space to rehearse and prepare and all that?
Yeah, we've been teching in the space all week, and it's been really, really great. The show is me, and there's like 100 light bulbs hanging above me, and so in the past it's been just me and like 7 light bulbs when we were doing like the small workshop versions of it. So when I saw the light bulbs come on, it was like a kid at Christmas. It was so exciting.
It must have been like a Norma Desmond going back to the studio moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I got very emotional. I got very emotional when I saw the lights on for the first time. And when I walked into the tank for the first time since March, a couple weeks ago, I got really emotional just to look at the space. And just see how it was left in March and everything. It was very, very emotional, and I'm very, very happy that they're letting us do it.
So I've been trying to think about this for a while, because I've seen a lot of live stream stuff from London, and I've seen a lot of tape theater from New York, but I think this is I can't confirm this, but it's one of the first shows being streamed live from New York.
Yes, it's one of the first. I don't want to say that it is the first, because I can't completely confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the first, and it's really cool that I'm the one doing it.
I was gonna say, has it hit you that you're a sort of pioneer in that aspect?
Yeah, it has hit me. It has hit me. I mean, in meetings about the show, I said I don't want to be working off a precedent. I want to be the precedent.
Which is a very lofty and really cool goal to have, basically.
Yeah, it's aggressive, and it's a lot, and it caused me a lot of anxiety. But we're doing it, and I'm really excited to do the play.
I was gonna say, I can tell that you're really excited, nervous as everyone would be, but really excited to do it. What do you want the people watching to get out of seeing these plays now? Do you think in those terms as an artist? I want my audience to take blah 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 away from this?
Sometimes I do. This time I've been. I don't think I have a particular theme that I want them to take away, because I know we do cover a lot, and we really do cover a lot in the play. It is a tonic. It's a tonic for these crazy times that we're in, and then this shitty pandemic and everything. So I guess I want to take away that, a general takeaway is that, we're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. Look, we're doing it. We're taking the first steps back. In the play, I say, this is about me, which isn't to say that this isn't about us, you, the audience, and me.
Right.
Space. And when I say sharing space, usually when I say that in the play, it means we're in the same room, we're breathing the same air, we're experiencing the play that I'm performing as I'm performing it. But now I'm actually sharing the space of being back in a theater, what that feels like to be back in a theater with the audience, and hopefully convey a little bit of what it feels like to be back in a theater with the audience through our 4 cameras and our microphones and me and our light bulb.
What are you most looking forward to about getting in there and performing tomorrow and Saturday?
Oh, it is at the end of every rehearsal, I at the end of every run through, I just hinge over at the waist and just hang there for a minute, because it's really, really physically draining and really physically exhausting, but also so fulfilling to do it. And there's a couple of sections in the play that I'm really excited to do, these really intense I can breathe, like I have to breathe here, or I don't get through to the bottom of the page. Breathe, like speeches that are really, really intense, really, really spoken word, really, really fast. So I'm really excited to do those and to hear people, to have people hear them around the country and hopefully around the world.
I hope you have a nice little staycation planned after.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna go out to my parents' house on Long Island for early for Thanksgiving, I think.
Oh, another Long Islander.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Whitestone, Queens, which is basically Long Island. Anyway.
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm from Rockville Center.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Kev Berry, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Harsh Cacophonies 1 and 2 streaming on the Tank's website tomorrow and Saturday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.